the press. Don't give them the bird. Just say graciously, no thank you. You need to know that the press is here, A&E is here. They will not film your faces. They will be filming the performance. Good evening. I looked to see what I was going to say. Gosh, this is great. We begin this evening with a moment of silence.
What? Yeah, but I wanted to not listen, so, okay, so.
She would come in, she had this nylon tied around her head, just like when you see cartoons with one of the cartoons have a bad teeth, and they tied this white thing at them. Well, she had a nylon like that tied, in the middle of winter, and blood running down her legs, and her big toes coming out of her high heels, and really, really dirty, and had a smell. Hygiene was gone out the door, but she always had a smile. In January 1995, when she became incorporated as a not-for-profit organization, delivering healthcare services and crisis interventions to treated transgender people. And her mandate was to improve the quality of life for the trans people.
When I came here, I called it home. It is home to me. It has the security blanket.
I used to stand because it's safe, and it slowly helped me get off the street.
In the center here, a lot of these people are replaced for me. What would be what the role of my blood family might have played. So, remembering these people, it's like remembering family for a lot of us.
There is a family gathering and really close friendships here, and we stick up for each other and we help each other out if the medical needs it.
Well, there was a memorial that was jointly sponsored by a bunch of the downtown East Side organizations, and for 1,200 people that have died, sex trade, drug overdose in this part of town.
Chantel. She was a pretty good friend of mine. She was murdered. She was beaten to death. She did a lot of work for it, the community, for the youth, gay, lesbian, transgender, and heterosexual. Every youth had support from her.
Her body was wrapped in a blue tarp and just tossed like she was common garbage. And that's something that's always eaten at me, always, and will always bother me, was the fact that this person knew nothing about her, knew nothing about the kind of person that she was, the kind of care and concern that she had for other people.
A lot of times when they're remembered, when these people are remembered in public, they are remembered as transgendered women. And that's important to us. Like, even though my birth certificate says I'm female, when I die, I will probably be, to my knowledge, I will be recorded as a male having died in vital statistics for the province. And to me, that's really disrespectful of who I am and the life I've lived.
My co-workers that are no longer with me, and one of them is Jasmine, who is also a native TS woman, who at the time was hooking alongside himself. Jasmine contracted AIDS and died in hospice, and so that's one way. And another girl that I knew, another TS hooker, I knew was murdered in Toronto and found in Lake, and that happens, you know, because it's a very violent world that I was in, and that the people, the clientele behind this have experienced, you know, as life can be difficult when you're TS, and for me, when I was younger, I was rejected when I first came out. I was rejected by my family, and I had to leave, and that's when I hit the streets and took up drugs and prostitution, and to deal with that pain inside from the rejection from your friends, your family, and that was true in my case, and it's true in many cases that we do have a hard time when you're TS, because there's not a lot of understanding out there in the world. You know, you have to try to access and fit within the group, and hope you don't get beaten, hope you don't get thrown out of school, hope you don't lose your job because you've been outed, hope a lot of things. It takes a pretty strong person, and we tell you. Judith's my woman, I don't even say mine, you know, pure that possession because she's but, you know, I'm her man and she's my woman, and that's how we walk down the street, and that's how we behave towards each other.
I'm a proud transgender woman and unique. I have skills and abilities. I have insights into the human condition. I have insights into gender that nobody else can have because it's part of my experience. It's my life.
Maria Rosalyne, Pat Ballman, Patricia Andrew, Patricia Ann Trish. Every year there's a demonstration on December 6th to honor women who have died in violence. And every year that I've been involved in the trans community, I go and I lead these men publicly.
If we as transgender people don't remember and respect each other as the women and the men that we are, no one else is going to.
He started FTM in 1986. That little support group that he started with 4 other people grew into FTM International in San Francisco, based in San Francisco, with over 800 members worldwide. He died of AIDS in March 1991. Brandon Tina. He was murdered in Nebraska in December of 1993 for being an FTM. This is Jake Dennis. I don't know if you can see that very well, but he died while he was getting ready to come to the first International FTM conference that took place in San Francisco in August of 1995. We missed him that day. We still miss him. Billy Tipton, he didn't identify as an FTM. At least he didn't say so. But he lived his life as a man for over 50 years in public as a musician with the Billy Tipton Trio, playing jazz, doing what he loved to do. He died because some think he was afraid to see a doctor because he didn't want his female body to be discovered. Hats off to you, Billy.
This last is for Vic Hayden, who didn't transition. Vic was one tough dyke who opened up Caltrans road work to women in San Francisco, who was the second or third female hire in the San Francisco Fire Department, who was the toughest woman and the toughest man I ever knew. Vic got absolutely no support, only censure from his family of origin. Instead of transitioning to male, Vic chose suicide. We lose too damn many brothers this way. Vic, I offer you transition posthumously. Wherever you are, brother, go in peace.
I'm James Green, president of FTM International. I really want to thank Barbara and Rosalyne for inviting us to participate in this, and we are having a terrific celebration. We need to honor those who have gone before us, and I think this is wonderful that you're doing it. Thanks very much.
Hi. For those on this side, I humbly apologize for the sucky TV that we had for you to see. Lesbian movie night is downstairs, and the damn lesbians have more power than the transgender people. They have big screens. We will show that tape again at some point if you want to come and visit. We'll show you that tape again. Brief housekeeping data. There's a unisex bathroom in the back. On the first and second floors, there are non-progressive, gender-deprived restaurants. Utilize them if you like. There's no smoking in this building, so you have to go outside in the rain. Tough shit. I am sorry. Now, who hates me? Raise their hand. Okay. It gives me personal. I think you might just have to move over a tad because we have a very special person coming up here. It gives me personal gratification to introduce to you at a transgender specific event here at the Lesbian and Gay Community Services Center, our Executive Director, Mr. Richard Burns.
Thanks, Raj. I am really delighted to add my welcome to all of you tonight and my thanks to all of you for being here. Tonight's an extraordinary event as we gather together to commemorate those whom we have lost in the transgender community. And I want to acknowledge for a minute that lesbians and gay men and bisexual people and transgender people usually grow up in isolation. Usually we grow up thinking that we are the only one and the only queer. And as such, we've grown up alone. And when we come together at an event like this evening, where we remember and celebrate and commemorate those we have lost, we strive to break through some of that isolation. And breaking that isolation is one of the most powerful things that we can do for ourselves and for one another. Because when we do that, we are beginning the process of really building community. And I'm really glad that this commemoration is happening at the center. I want to take 1 minute to acknowledge Barbara Warren, the Center's Director of Mental Health and Social Services, and Rosalyne Blumenstein, our Director of the Center's Gender Identity Project, for the incredible work that they have done together over the years in building services for transgender people here in New York City. I'm very, very proud that these services are here. And I'm also proud that the GIP services are now a model for similar programs across America. And there are a lot of pioneers in this room, and they're two of the pioneers that I'm very, very proud to work with. Couple blurbs about the center itself, where we are tonight. More than 5,000 people come through our doors each and every week, and they come for more than 300 different lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and AIDS-related programs and meetings produced by independent groups. In addition, many of those 5,000 people come here to participate in one of the center's 27 different programs, of which the Gender Identity Project is one. The GIP was founded in 1989 by Barbara and a number of interested transgender activists. It offers individual and group support services, advocacy, information, HIV and HIV prevention education, alcohol and drug abuse prevention education, and hopefully, most of all, in what we strive to make a supportive space, it enables participants to explore and affirm gender identity along a spectrum of gender experience. I'm particularly happy to speak tonight because I love witnessing history. And there are many history makers in this room tonight, people who have been pioneers in trailblazing a place in the larger queer community for transgender people. That has not been an easy trail to blaze, but it has been important pioneering work of which many, many people in this room should be very, very proud. Transgender activists, and many of you are in this room, are also, in addition to expanding our vision of what it means to be queer, are on the front lines of challenging the larger mainstream culture's construct of gender and gender identity. I can certainly acknowledge here tonight that Barbara and Roz and many transgender people in the GIP have certainly challenged my construct of gender over the last 7 or 8 years. And for me, the personally wonderful thing about that is going through the process of learning that the construct of gender is actually so limiting and confining to each of us as individuals. And that is, that's a gift that transgender activists are giving to the larger queer community. And perhaps someday that will be a gift that we all will pass on to the mainstream culture. So welcome, and have a wonderful evening.
Of these people that you see here, I know. As you look around the room, some might ponder AIDS, murder, addiction, and celebration. What is the correlation? We come together tonight to celebrate lives, but we keep in mind, with distinction, their destruction. We are here this evening to recognize the fact that without these people that lived it out before us, there would be less opportunities for us to be. These people challenged, defied, and brought in the gender conformities for us all. Their pain, their courage, their gratification, their suffering, their liberation, their truth. After all, what is it about being a person on the transgender spectrum? It's about truth. I ask you, how different is it in 1998 to come out as a person of transgender experience? After all, these are the best of times. Lesbian, gay activists, liberators, movement shakers are working together more and more with bisexual and transgender people to modify a system that has been oppressive to all sexual minorities. In his own ridiculous way, last year, the mayor challenged our gender constrictions by appearing publicly in drag. The 1990s has experienced RuPaul, a famous drag queen, accepted in mainstream as a drag queen. In the 1990s, we've seen noble people like MGM, Gender Pact, the list goes on and on, people of transgender experience, battling Congress and battling people for our basic human rights. This past year, 2 of our out leaders earned seats on the Harry Benjamin International Gender Dysphoria Association's board. Yes, but these are still the worst of times. Luscious was a peer educator who was also a cross-dressing, coke-addicted hooker and was murdered. Reagan Comstock, in her youth a high-fashion model, outed as a trans person and thrown out of the fashion industry, died last year with AIDS alone. Brandon Tina was a man of transgender experience who was brutally raped and murdered by other men. Police did not come to his rescue. They all needed to prove that they were the real men. Do you know there's a gender-questioning child drifting through our foster care system? He's been locked in a psych ward for months and diagnosed with gender crises. There is no such diagnosis. Too many of our brothers and sisters of transgender experience do not have access to alcohol treatment or substance abuse treatment because they are preoperative, non-operative, femme queens, or transgender men, all with incorrect genitalia. Are the times changing? At 16 years old, a baby drag queen that I was, it was the norm to hear about friends just jumping off roofs, or hearing about a lovely femme queen's penis being slashed off, shoved into her own mouth, and dumped onto the West Side Highway. Today, how many transgender or gender-questioning youth are confronted with these same events? Today, we have internet access. People of transgender, transsexual experience have their own websites, talk and radio shows. We run programs. We are executive directors of progressive movements. We are out professionals. Leaders in our field. Yes, but I can still remember my own suicide attempts, drug addiction, and the sex industry. Are the times changing? These are not judgments about drugs, suicide attempts, or the sex industry. We've just lost too many to these enterprises. But times, they are changing. We heal in community. We come together, all of our communities tonight, to cleanse, heal, and regenerate. Tonight, we honor our brothers and sisters that have died. We honor them at the Lesbian and Gay Community Services Center. The center is home to many of us. I'm a straight woman of transsexual experience, and I found a home here at the center. This could be your home as well. The GIP, the Gender Identity Project, is honored to serve you, our people, but we cannot do this alone. We need your support here at the center. There's a membership table in the back. Please get involved. I request those that fall on the transgender spectrum, if you feel safe and proud, to rise, to stand up, and be counted. Together tonight with our differences. Do you hear that? With our differences, our disagreements, and our diversity. We come together tonight to celebrate, honor, and love our people and our allies, the people that were not standing. We come together tonight to join hands, if only for this moment, to remember with dignity our losses and our gains. We have a wonderful evening in store for you. A long-ass evening. And you better stay for the whole thing. Jim on sound and Chris on light. Jim, music. And master of ceremonies for this evening, I give to you the one, the only former board member here at the center, current board member of GLAAD, former Empress of the Imperial Court of New York, Coco LaChine, with Coco, renowned poet, and our development officer here at the center, G. Winston James. Enjoy the show.
Good evening. My name is Coco. How's everyone doing tonight? Are you really out there? Anyway, welcome to the center, and we'd like to thank you all for coming out tonight. We know the weather is really bad, but then again, I said to myself, well, you're really not going out. You're really coming home, because this really is home for all of us. And we'd like to thank you for supporting the center all these years. Tonight is really, really special for us and for many, many people. Just look around you, next to you, and see how diverse everyone this room can hold. And look up to these walls. Every single one of those names represent lives. How many of you know people that you have lost over the years that is dear to you and is part of the transgender community? I'm sure everyone does, right? Right? Hello back there. Anyway, we have a full pack show like Ross said earlier. It's a full pack show and she's going to have a heart attack if I just hug this microphone. So I'm going to move right on and introduce our first performer. And she is out of the closet and onto our stage. This ravishing redhead with her harmonious vocal styling will honor us with a tribute to the legendary Body Raquel extravaganza. Please put your hands together for Miss Bianca Smith.
The serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Amor, estoy sola aquí en la playa. Es el sol quien me acompaña y me quema, y me quema, y me quema.
Bianca Smith. Thank you. Actually, that was the song that I was gonna perform. But because she wanted to, I was being very nice. So I said, okay, you can do that. How many of you actually understand the song? How many of you speak Spanish? Well, for those of you that did not understand the song, I shall be nice and interpret for you. What she really said during the song is that Coco is single. She is very needy tonight. It's too cold, and she's really, really looking, okay? So we're going to move right along to our next performer. Right. Okay, just speak to my manager later, line up, you know. Don't run, you know, take your time, it's okay. We have all night, like Ross says. What time is it? Is it news time yet? Anyway, our next performer is a 1997 Artist Fellowship recipient of the New York Foundation of the Arts, founder of the Black Ops Performance, Cult, and the Johnsons, and presenting this song in honor of the street transvestite action revolutionary and my hero, Marshall Johnson. Please put your hands together and welcome Ann Tony.
I just wanted to say really quickly that this song is in honor of Marsha P. Johnson, who founded a group called STAR, Street Transvestite Action Revolutionaries, in 1971. Marsha was actually the vice president. Sylvia Rivera was the president. Thank you, Sylvia. Another major hero. And finally, I'd just like to put in another quick dedication, which is for a queen that probably a lot of you know, Baby Gregor, who was in all those categories. He was a junkie, had AIDS, but actually killed himself last week. And you probably all know him. He did these paintings that he would peddle on Avenue A. I mean, he was a reckless queen, but he was a beauty, and he deserves some credit tonight.
There's a black river, it passes by my window, and late at night, oh, dolled up like Christ, I walk the water between the pills, singing, oh, river sorrow, river of time, river sorrow, don't swallow this time. We all know, baby has expired long ago. She was pulled from the mire, and no precious Nile, oh well, which can return the love stolen. So can you see the light at the end of the dark passageway? Take me with you towards the slide. Into the darkness, passing over the faces in the river. Hear me, I'm whispering in your ear.
Well, your program says Miss Heather Letters is coming up, but no, she's not coming up because she's not here tonight. Her mother actually called, her mother Romaine called earlier. And thank you. She called and said she couldn't make it, so Roz decided that by tomorrow she's going to be the mixed salad at your dinner tomorrow. But actually, she's actually in Capitol Hill tonight testifying for that. What's her name again? Lewinsky? Yeah, so Heather Letters is there testifying about her own experience with Mr. Clinton. And as far as Heather Letters is concerned, oral sex is a relationship. If she even got that far. Actually, I could tell you my own Bill Clinton story. Yes, no, truly, this is a real story. I actually have pictures to prove it. No, there was no oral sex involved, but, you know, can you imagine if the star happens to get one of my pictures today and then tomorrow it's on the... Anyway, let's not go there, because our next performer is truly special. She's a friend of... Are we still at the oral sex there? No? Okay. Well, this next performer is truly special. She's a friend of all of us. And she's a pioneer, actually, and she has opened a new door for many of us here in this room. She's the co-founder of the Gender Identity Project and director of the Mental Health and Social Services here at the center. Now, let's see her in a different light. She actually begged us to do this, you know. She says, I don't care what you say. This is my show. I'm going to do a number. So, I want you all to give her love. Lots of love. And I mean it, because tonight she's doing a performance in honor of Reagan Comstock. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Barbara Ward.
Something I haven't done with a guitar since I was 18, had much longer hair and wore bell-bottom jeans. And probably was a little bit out of it, so I didn't care who heard me. Of course, I don't do that anymore. The person that I'm here to sing for tonight, and in honor of, is a woman of transsexual experience named Reagan Comstock. Some of you will remember remember her. She was the most fabulous downtown diva alive. She also was the first person I met 10 years ago when I came to the center, who was a woman of transsexual experience. And it was through helping her and later becoming her friend and a bit of a mentor to her that she was the inspiration to found the Gender Identity Project. And early on in the center's history, helped me out a lot in talking about the rights and the needs of transsexual people when it wasn't yet cool or hip to come out as a woman of transsexual experience. She's in our first videotape that we made here. There's part of her family in the audience tonight, and I just want to welcome Tom and Jay, who are part of Reagan's family, who have joined us tonight. I'm really happy they're here. And I know what you guys are. And I also want to say there's a side of Reagan a lot of people didn't know, and that she didn't let on, and that's what was that she was really a softie, and she knew that I played the guitar, and we used to have these hoot nannies together, and we used to sing, and she was also of Irish heritage. And this song that I'm singing tonight is an old Irish, sort of Irish-English ballad. It's about a girl who has a one-night stand and gets fucked over in the morning, and Reagan used to say, "Oh, darling, story of my life." And she used to ask me to sing this Irish song, so I'll do the best I can, and this is for Reagan. I love you, Reagan. Reagan died last March. One morning fair, as I flew the air, down by that water side, was in the gazing round me. 'Twas the Irish lad I spied, all through the far part of the night. We rolled in sport and play, and that young man rose, gathering off his clothes, saying fare thee well, good day. That's not the promise you made to me, as you lay upon my breast. Surely I would believe your lying tongue, that the sun rose in the west. These are my favorite verses next. There's not a girl in this whole wide world as easily led as I. Surely fishes will fly and seas will run dry. Surely then you'd marry on. I'm going home to me father's house, going home to cry my fill and reflect upon his fortune, brought about by wanton will. One morning clear as I took the air, down by Blackwater side, 'twas in the gazing round me. 'Twas the Irish lad I trod, and I do it again. 'Twas the Irish lad I spied. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Barbara Warren.
Now, is A and E really here? A and E? Are they here? Oh, hi. This is my good side, okay? I just want you to sort of know that in advance. Anyway, I know some of you are sort of shy, those of you nice-looking young men, or those men with platinum cards that wanted to line up, you know, well, don't be that shy, okay? I just want to make sure that tonight I shall not be lonely. Because our next performer is coming right up. I know, Chris, I should not move out of the light. There, is this better? Thank you. With Chris giving me light and A&E, is it on, dear? Is the camera really on? Hello. There. Our next performer is an activist in the trans community for the empowerment of trans people everywhere. This is in honor of Elaine Phillips. Wish you were here. Please welcome on stage Miss Arlene Hoffman.
They're not making the skies as blue this year. As blue as they used to be when you were here. Wish you were here. And the mornings don't seem as new. Wish you were here. Wish you were here. Someone's painting the leaves all wrong this year. Wish you were here. And why did the birds change their song this year? Wish you were here. They're not shining the stars as bright. They've stolen the joy from the night. Wish you were here. Wish you were here. Wish you were here.
Thank you, Arlene Hoffman. Now, okay, we're moving right along. We got actually another call. Heather Letta's dad called this time, Mr. Amdeep called, and said that doesn't work the second time, huh? Okay, we'll remember that. However, our next performer, Miss Candice Kane, she's not here either, okay? Well, you know, this is supposed to be that great show. Instead, you're stuck with me tonight. So, Miss Candice Kane cannot make it either. But her spirit is with us tonight, I am sure. She's actually out meeting the new plastic surgeon of Michael Jackson. You know, there's other things that needs to be done. And boy, is she gonna kill me after tonight. Actually, Candice and I and Heather Lettuce were in the movie To Wong Fu, Thanks for Everything, Julie Newmar. And well, thank you. And if you did not blink, you might actually see all of us. So I'm not sure what's happening. Everyone in that movie is not showing up. So instead, we're going to move right along and bring out our next performer, Miss Bambi, international star, serving the world with something extra, working with GIP and their communities, spreading awareness and love. This song is in honor of Miss Nicole Kennedy Smith. Please put your hands together for Miss Bambi, international star. Out of towners here tonight. My God, you all live in this metropolitan New York. No out of towners. Okay, where are you from, sir? Where's that? Pennsylvania. Well, let's say hello to Pennsylvania over here. Is this the first time you're in the center? Is this the first time you're in the center? You've been here before. Is there anyone here for the first time? Oh, great. And how did you come to hear about the show tonight? Oh, you work with Eva Love. And Eva is one of our performers later. Well, we'd like to tell you that thank you for being here tonight. As you know, we rely on your support. Remind you that we have a membership table up front. If you're not yet the members, please consider joining. And as you can see, with no scaffolding barely holding this roof up, we desperately need renovation. No, it doesn't mean that you're in the cheap seats, okay? Actually, the center people are all over here. Our staff members are over here. Let's say hello and thank the staff members in the center over here. They're here to really show you that, you know, is Richard still here? Okay. They're here to show you that they really support the center, and no, Richard did not require them to be here, but they just want to see me, right? Guys? Yeah, they're my own homegrown fan club. And moving right along, since we have the stage set up, we're going to bring out our next performer, a vocalist, and doing it his way in honor of Logan Smith. Please put your hands together for Ray DeStefano.
And now the end is near, and so I face the final curtain. My friends, I'll make it clear, I'll state my case, of which I'm certain. Lived a life that's full, I traveled each and every highway, but more than this, I did it my way. Yes, I've had it too, but then again, too few to mention. I did what I had to do, and saw it through without exemption. I planned each charted course, each careful step along the byway, and more, much more of this. I did it my way. Yes, there were times, I'm sure you do, when I did all more than I could do. But through it all, when there was doubt, I ate it all and spit it out. I faced it all, and I stood tall, and I did it my way. I loved to cry. I had my fill, my share of losing. And now, as tears subside, I find it all so amusing to think I did all that, and may I say, not in a shy way. Oh no, not me. I did it
What is a man? What has he got? If not himself, then he has not to say the things he truly feels, and not the words of one who yields. The record shows I took the blows and did it my way. Ready, Stefano? Oh, thank you. I'm glad you noticed. In case A&E didn't see me, I shall move up here so that you have a better view of my outfit. Okay? Thank you. Well, actually, I told Roz that I wanted to sing 5 songs tonight. And of course, she's almost hit me and says, no, you cannot. So instead, I shall keep on changing outfits, you know? Hopefully, I shall be seen 3 times at least. Anyway, our next performer is almost ready. Is very tall. Yes, I can see that. Anyway, our next performer is here with Tramp Fever in honor of Lily and presenting that supercalifragilisticexpialidocious Eva Love.
You never know how much I care. When you put your arms around me, I feel my silicones are gone, the first to get me hard. When you kiss me, horny when you pay your cash. Honey, don't you touch me, 'cause you got a nasty rash. I already paid my doctor, but I don't know where to start. Should I begin by changing my name or getting my vagina that smart? When you pinch me, bitch, if you don't pay cash. Screechy, please don't touch me. Get away from me, you white trash. Being a tranny, such a hustle, that is something you should know. Tranny isn't such a new thing, tranny started long ago. Female, yes, I felt all my life, but I look like a dog. The doctor gave me some hormones. Now, baby, estrogen is my drug. Not fever. Not even close. This is just a made-up crap. Tranny, it's my story, even if I came with blood. Yes, man, I can have an orgasm, and as many as you can. Every question has an answer, if you're gonna be polite. Don't give me willies. Please respect me, and I won't tell your wife. Please, I don't need them, they just corrupt on my life. Now you listen to my story. Here's the point that I have made.
Trying to give you more than fever. But I'm trying to chase is not what you get. To give you herpes. When you kiss them, herpes on your lips can burn. Herpes. I still eat sheep preparation H and out. This Tiny wants to be your friend. This Tiny wants to be your friend. Maybe that Tiny would like to be your friend. Or perhaps that Tiny would like to be your friend. Any favor, Tiny, favor.
So we get an awesome applause, please below. I could not have done that better myself. Except I work a different corner. Oh, okay. Well, let's bring out our next performer. Actually, I have a blank card. They didn't tell me how to introduce her. However, she's actually an entrepreneur. She's a well-known personality in the community. And twice a week, every Saturday, twice a week, she... That didn't work, huh? Can we top that? Start over. Twice a week, she throws a party called Tranny Chaser. How many of you have been there? Well, you're not publicizing this enough. Anyway, Tranny Chasers is on 7th Avenue South near, I'm sure she'll come up and tell you where it is, but every Thursdays and Saturdays. It's really a fun place. It's a place that you can go, socialize, be at home, and meet people. So, without further ado, doing a tribute to Candy Boland, please put your hands together for Miss Gloria Holt.
Thank you. It's a great honor to be here. And I prepared a spoken word piece for Sugar Boland, who I didn't know, but in so many ways I feel I do know. And if you please forgive me, I'm going to read it because I didn't memorize it. I live it out. It's for Sugar Boland. In the indigo shadows of night, I live it out. I shine like a Cartier diamond star that disappears each morning. I live it out night after night. Being fierce, being gorgeous. It gets exhausting, but I live it out. I live it out. Glamour and seduction, flesh and fantasy, new faces, new arms, new kisses, new loves that appear, disappear, and reappear with words of love, promises that melt with the sunrise. Will the real world ever let me be a real woman? I'm not a thing. I'm not a fantasy. I'm not a temporary trophy of lust and flesh. I'm a real woman who got stuck in the wrong place. And the nightclubs, bars, beauty contests, and sexual fantasies of curious men are the only place this world will let me live, so I live in the night where I live it out. Where the night holds me her star, her daughter, her confidant, her patron saint to men in need, her beautiful prisoner. I live it out and keep dreaming like glamorous Cinderella. That one day my prince will emerge from the lies, fantasies, and obscurities. Will my prince bring me a diamond glass pump? Or will he bring me just another pair of jive-ass bedroom slippers fit for a whore? I live it out and wonder what happens to tender hearts like mine in a world full of sexual hypocrites who lack the courage to love me by the light of day. So here in the night I live in glamour, in fierceness and beauty, as long as beauty stays. I live it out. I live it out. I live it out best as I can, despite my doubts. I live it out, and you must too live it out. There's somebody waiting all alone in the street for someone to walk up
beach. Here you are all alone in the city, with the love that you took to his side. Lonely faces will stare through your eyes in the night. Please come home with me. You're shining and willing and free. But your love is a common occurrence, not like love that I feel in my heart. Still you know that maybe all you need is someone to lay down beside you. And even though it's not real, I'm someone to lay down beside you. You're the story of my life. The morning is breaking, the street lights are up, the sun will soon share all the cost. In a world that can be sort of heartless, not like love that I feel in my heart. Still I know that maybe all you get is someone to lay down beside you. And even though it's not real, you're someone to lay down beside me. You just can't ask for. Thank you very much. Our next performer is a 22-year-old youth coordinator and activist, an entertainer who believes that art is the most powerful tool we could use to promote the messages of our movement. And this piece is in honor of Kiki. Please put your hands together for Ismael Pierre. Hello, how's everybody doing tonight? I have a little poem to recite tonight for y'all. It's called Sometimes I Feel Just Like a Woman. Sometimes I feel just like a woman. When he holds me, when he kisses me, when he pats me on the ass for being the good cocksucker that I am. Honey, sometimes I feel just like a woman.
When I pull my waist from side to side like a black hoochie who bats her lashes as if she's the fiercest thing walking down this side of the ghetto. Woo! Honey, sometimes I feel just like a woman. When I'm watching telenovelas on Univision with flip-flops and curlers in my hair, honey, sometimes I feel just like a woman. When straight boys from the barrio call me puta, maricona, muñeca, pendeja, cabrona, and all those other little things that make them feel just like a man. Honey, sometimes I feel just like a woman. When I step out of the salon, girl, you know, and I snap my hair from side to side, as if I had long, beautiful hair, and the drunk guy down by the corner will lady yells, girl, what the fuck is you doing? Honey, I don't know, but sometimes I feel just like a woman. Come on, let's do it again. Sometimes I feel great. I actually feel more like a woman every night. Anyway, remember the Jewel Club? The Jewel Box Review, sorry. Yeah? That was just a few years ago, wasn't it? Okay. And the 82 Club? Okay, you give yourself away here. Anyway, the Jewel Box Review and the 82 Club were two of those grand, nice performance places, and really a fun place to be at. Well, our next performer was a shining star of these two places, and today she's still belting it out and looking lovely as ever doing it. This segment is honor of Dietrich St. Jude, and with Jerry Scott on the piano. There's Jerry. Please put your hands for our final act, for a closing performer for Act 1, Miss Carolyn Durrell.
No use leading without you. This is where the story ends. Never lovers, ever friends. Goodbye. Let our hearts call it a day. But before you walk away, I sincerely want to say I wish you bluebird. A song to sing and then a kiss, but more than this, I wish you love. And in July, I'll give my name to cool you in some leafy glade. I wish you health, I wish you well, I wish you love. My aching heart, and I believe you and I will never be. So with my best my very best. I set you free. I wish you shelter from the storm, a cozy fire to keep you warm. But most of all, when snowflakes start to fall, baby, baby, I wish you luck. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your song. Wish you shelter from the storm, a cozy fire to keep you warm. But most of all, when snowflakes fall, you bet your bottom dollar, believe me when I tell you, I wish you love.
Thank you. Beautiful as ever, Miss Carolyn Durrell. We'd like to remind you that Night of 1,000 Gowns is coming up. It's scheduled for March 28, 1998 at the Marriott Marquis Hotel. Look out for invitations coming in the mail in about a week, and ads will start appearing in HX magazine. And you'll also see postcards and flyers here at the center. So please join us for Night of 1,000 Gowns. We also would like to remind you that we have refreshments at the back of the room. Please partake of it. It is free, but please, donations are very welcome here. We also have the membership table in case you'd like to join us as a member of the center tonight. Please do so. You've been a great audience. I have a great fun doing this show with you. We're going to take a 10-minute intermission, and then G. Winston James is going to be here to serve up the rest of the program. Thank you so much.
I would very much, well, first of all, my name is G. Winston James. I am a poet and fiction writer and also a grant writer for the Lesbian Gay Community Services Center. I hope that we now have, perhaps 40 new members of the center. Those people who have joined the center should raise their hands right now. If you don't join, you will not be able to leave the building tonight. And we know who you are. I'd like everyone to right now put their hands together and applaud Coco LaChine as our MC. I want to thank Rosalyne Blumenstein, who seems to have disappeared after making her remarks earlier tonight, for giving me the opportunity to, first of all, to MC for the second half of this program, and also to sort of get over some of the anxiety that I've had around people of transgender experience. Going way back to when I was just a little bit faggot, I have always felt that I wasn't quite fabulous enough to be in the presence of femme queens and other people of transgender experience. I remember once I was in a fashion show in this very room, and Tracy Africa was also in the program.
hopefully some of you know Tracy Africa. She's legendary and remarkable. I unfortunately brushed up against Tracy Africa as I was rushing to change my clothes. And I want to let you know that Tracy did this. No touching. Now, if I was a little nervous before, I have been very afraid over these years. But here I am tonight, working at the center, and getting a totally new sense of the people in our community and how people define themselves and how people really just display their spirits that God has given them. God's made us all lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and everything else that we are, and we should celebrate that. I have a poem that says that I want us to shatter the windows of heaven with diamonds and to assemble before the throne of God, dressed in the stars and holding the planets in our hands. And I walk into this room tonight and I look at the names on the wall. I look over here, I see people who have been murdered and killed. I look back here and I see photos of people, and really and truly I think that we have already begun to shatter the windows of heaven with diamonds and to assemble before the throne of God and to know that we are truly beautiful people. I also know that we have a fucking long program tonight. So, I'm going to move along to start the second act with its first act. We have Imperial Queen Allison and the Allisonians, all three of whom are elected officials of the Imperial Queens and Kings of Greater New York. Queen Allison is also co-president of the Stonewall Veterans Association. Since 1969, these next songs are from legendary Stonewall and are dedicated to all the members that we have lost to the war on AIDS. Queen Allison and the Allisonians.
you very much. The Imperial Queens and Kings of Greater New York since 1968 actually did lose one of our members, David M. Ali, in a motorcycle crash in 1986. And worse yet, over the years, we've lost over 20 members from the AIDS war. And that's why we're all here tonight, to remember those that we've lost that put so much into this community. Fortunately, our group has videos from years ago and loads of pictures to sustain us in the terrible losses that we've had over the years. The two songs we're doing tonight are from the Stone Wall, the actual Stone Wall. You can get the movie and see it in that. And we did the sad one, Leader of the Pack, who died. Now we're going to do the glad one. Give him a great big kiss. Let's look to the future. Let's have unity.
When I say I'm in love, you best believe I'm in love, though you leave.
That was Imperial Queen Allison and the Allisonians. Give them another round of applause. I know now, definitely, that I have lived before. Even I think you can live more than one life in a life. Somehow I knew those songs, and it makes me a little afraid because it's kind of music that I don't necessarily listen to. But I think I've been around, actually. I met a very great person in the stairwell a few minutes ago. And you can tell when you meet great people because the humility is real. You know, you can tell it's not this faux stuff that some people put on. The next person to be presented to you tonight is an author, activist, leader, nurturer. Ladies and gentlemen, impermanence, I give you Leslie Feinberg.
Very gracious introduction, and and that reflects that I am part of the huge segment of the trans population that is pronoun challenged. We celebrate the courage of those we're honoring here tonight. But there's a heavy burden weighing on us in this room. We haven't created that weight just by naming those whose lives were cut short by police brutality or street corner bashings or other forms of violence. It is a weight that each of us brought to this room tonight. It's the burden we carry on our shoulders every day. Each of us knows a great deal about the bravery of those who we honor tonight. We can measure their courage against the strength it takes us to protect our lives, our bodies, our identities. But perhaps we came here tonight to find out how they survived as long as they did, to discover from what underground spring they drew their pride, to find the words they forged into body armor to defend their lives. Perhaps we fear that when we die, our heroic struggles just to walk down the street or get a job or use a public toilet will be forgotten. That no one will remember how valiantly we fought to defend our lives and our dignity. But history has recorded the names of many trans warriors. For example, most of us grew up being taught about Joan of Arc's life. They just never told us that Joan of Arc was a masculine, cross-dressing female. And unless you grew up with a silver spoon in your mouth, you and I were taught that we are not the stuff that great leaders are made of, that we must wait for a distinguished white man on a horse to ride up and usher in historic change. But the lesson that has purposefully been kept from us is that it's people like us who have always been the movers and shakers of history. Joan of Arc was an illiterate peasant teenager. She became a brilliant leader of a peasant army because she rose to the demands of the historical moment in which she lived. So did cross-dressed leaders of urban rebellions like Mother Folly in France. The peasant guerrilla armies of Rebecca and her daughters that shaped Welsh history. Chao Chen, revolutionary leader, feminist in China. Luisa Capetillo, the Puerto Rican feminist socialist cross-dresser who led tobacco workers into battles against their bosses. Magnus Hirschfeld, a gay, Jewish, feminine socialist leader of the movement for the rights of trans people and same-sex love in Germany at the turn of the century. And Marsha Johnson, a homeless African-American drag queen who fought the cops at the Stonewall Rebellion and who formed STAR, Street Transvestite Action Revolutionaries, with revolutionist Sylvia Rivera. The irony is that many of these trans leaders did not only fight for the civil rights of transsexual and transgender and intersexual and gay and lesbian and bisexual people. They fought colonization and unjust wars and hunger and privatization of land and repressive taxation and brutal cops and homelessness and economic exploitation. They fought for the rights of everyone who was tyrannized and downtrodden. We remember their names for the same reason we remember Nat Turner and Sojourner Truth, because they fought back. Even when the economic and social system that oppressed them seemed invincible. Even when no mass movement was apparent. The people who make a difference in history are those who fight for freedom not because they're guaranteed of success, but because it's the right thing to do. Are we brave enough to fight back? Of course we are. All our lives we fought back, mostly alone, with the taste of our own blood in our mouths. The real issue is that the struggles of trans warriors, whose lives are rendered invisible by poverty and homelessness and racism and sexism and police brutality and the government's underfunding of the AIDS epidemic and being turned away from health care or because of bigotry, because of deafness or disability, our lives and struggles are inextricably linked to the millions of non-trans people who are casualties of the same class warfare. So here's the question that history puts before us. Can we develop the vision and the courage to forge the bonds of unity so that shoulder to shoulder we can form an army, and this time it will be we that are invincible, and it will be our army that ushers in the genuine dawn of human history.
There is absolutely nothing that can be added to what was just said to us, except perhaps for silence to contemplate it and to realize the truth of it. Our next performer for the evening, this celebration, is Juicy Absolute. Not me, Juicy Absolute. Juicy Absolute is a core member of the Absolute Theater Company and can be seen in various original Absolute Theater shows in Manhattan throughout the year. In honor of Mona Desmond, whose grace, generosity, and spirit inspires all, I give you Juicy Absolute.
And that's where
originally, Juicy and I were supposed to do this number. Juicy was going to perform, and I was going to do a modern dance kind of thing. Now, Juicy said no. And you see what happened. Oh my God, I've been asking myself all evening, how is it that these performers, these women perform in these 3 and 4 inch heels? Now, I definitely know the answer is very much care. Juicy, that was fabulous, and one of my favorite songs. I would love it. Actually would love it if you could do it again with me dancing, because I was standing off to the side, wanting to kind of take off my tuxedo and be the real person that I am. I'm not really as tight as I seem right now. Thanks a lot, Juicy. Another round of applause. Now, it is obviously clear that I am somewhat, just slightly shaky, but I'm a really good person. I'm sure that there are people here who would come to my defense and say that I'm a wonderful person. Thank you. All right. Our next performer, Lenny Zenith, is actually with Hedda Lettuce right now, which means that Lenny is not here. So we're going to move on to someone who I've actually known for years, but have not seen in years, and just saw upstairs in the dressing room and realized that many a change has taken place since last we saw one another. Tina Sparkles, who is about to grace the stage, is the star of Lucky Chang's restaurant, New York City, Florida. And that's all that I have on Tina, except to say that Tina says this is not about her. This performance is in honor of Tanya Ling. Tina Sparkles. it's wonderful as we celebrate those who have gone to realize the depth of talent that is actually still in this community and still developing. I can't say anything else. That was Tina Sparkles. Our next performer is Monique Reed. Monique LaBeija, co-founder of the House of LaBeija. It's wonderful to know that the House of LaBeija is still very much known. The House of LaBeija and has survived many storms in honor of Brandy and Crystal LaBeija. Monique LaBeija.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Monique LaBeija. I'm very glad to be grateful to be here tonight standing in front of you. I am what you call a proper call survivor. I thank my God today, each and every day, that I am still here and that I have the strength to stand before you tonight. I'm sorry that so many of us out in the audience remember how much of a struggle it was to be young and gay. In the early days, we had to struggle each and every day for equal rights, and we had to scuffle for the rights to live our lives, what we fought and was protected from the so-called heterosexual population. I am glad that I'm here, but I am also very sad. I am sad because so many of us did not make it. I especially want to pay tribute to my closest friends that didn't make it, Brandy and Crystal LaBeija. When we was young, we had a dream that we would grow old together. But our thoughts and hopes died in a grateful bus. We battled against gay busters and discrimination so very hard in the years of the 60s and 70s. And most of the time we were victims. But our fight against HIV positive was tough, the one we did to win. I watched as the disease slowly destroyed them and so many others. I cannot describe to you in words how it makes me feel and how I miss them so very much. This disease has claimed the life of so many talented and loving and gifted people. So we must continue to stand together, strong, and fight for the battle for each other. I feel one day we will conquer this demon also, but it will take a funds and research. It will also take to win. It will take dedication and education for each and one of us. Must teach one of us education. God bless all of the remembers. If we stand together, we can overcome all this disease that happened to us. God bless us. Thank you.
Our next performer this evening is someone who I know well. Someone who I know daily. She's also an employee here at the center, but in her private life, Ellen is a star of readings, writings, and screenings. This performance tonight, this reading, is in honor of her friend Lance, who was, as she says here, tall, beautiful, and died much too soon. Ellen Rabinowitz.
Hi, these are recorded acts to follow. Everybody's so wonderful, so fabulous. I'm a bereavement counselor here, so I often am talking about loss and grief, too often, with people who died much too early.
And yet it's always hard, no matter how hard you do, no matter how much you're trained and how much you do this. It is hard. And the only thing is to get together like this and celebrate and have hope. And that can help everyone. So this is for Lance, Lucy, of many names. Flashbacks. Images come in jerky motions, like an old movie that was not well edited. There are the happy times, talking confidentially, laughing, having private jokes, caretaking each other's crises, crying with each other, calling on the phone. Images of fantasy, dressing up, dressing down, silk dresses, peignoirs, voices high and low, acting at La Mama, cruising the East Village, problems and overcomings, crises and resolutions, hearts broken, hearts resurrected, high drama and vaudeville, outrageous foolishness, things flying together and things getting together. Then there's the frozen image, looming over everything, like a giant Macy's Thanksgiving balloon taking over all the space, replays over and over again, 3/4 time, 1/2 time, full time. Scenes in the hospital, respirator on, eyes blank, pain coursing through, the morphine drip, white milky liquid pumped into those thin veins, and the TV with some horrible game show blasting inanities, false enthusiasm and bland, smiley faces. And there was that wan body in the bed. Where were those luminescent green eyes, thin and pale, no makeup, staring, unseeing. The hospital staff was tired, uncaring, phobic. Get on with it, do the ending part. They needed the bed. She had wanted to get on with her life, and the life got on without her. But I must remember that she is multiple images, a circle of life that existed for 40 years, and not just the ending. There was the living with luster and panache, but the dying was less than with dignity. Those we honor tonight, the trans community, made up of fragility and spunk, laughter and languish, pain and passion, of beauty, strength, striving, of exhaustion and despair, of wanting to be accepted, of acceptance ungranted, of achieving and achieved. Looking for love, maybe finding love, hoping to find love, of lovelorn and not giving a shit, of achieving and achieved, long-haired and tousled, and short-haired and butch, tough and gentle, hairy and smooth, of despised and desired, of wanting magic and magic wanting, laughing by the budding trees of Central Park, in designer apartments, watching TV, homeless in the dirt, tough by the docks of the West Side piers, violence experienced and experienced at violence. Doing a stroll on 42nd Street, going to college, the oldest in the class, shooting up and getting shot down, being in recovery and recovering oneself, alternate families, friendships forever, and loneliness. Sun burnished and laughing by rose bushes and by the dust of condom wrappers, fearless and fearful. Lives getting in order, lives ending much too soon. Their message, and this is the message I get from everybody who I work with in counsel, the message they got from those they loved who died. Don't waste your time. You must do what you want now.